So as you can read by the title, I just kind of wanted to talk about what I have learned in the past 5 years of making an album every year. So I'm gonna start in the beginning of my journey as a musician in 2020. I picked up music as a COVID hobby. I just had nothing better to do, and I really wanted to like make use of my time. I was kind of in like in a fork in the road kind of part of my life where I was like, these are the paths I can take, and I don't know, I just took a hard right, compared to what I was doing before. It was a pretty, I guess pretty left field compared to what I was doing before, but what I was doing before, I wasn't truly proud of what I was creating and the things that I was doing. And so my goal was to be really proud of what I was doing. That was the only thing I was seeking, was just the self-validation of like, oh, I'm making things that are really cool, right? So in suit, I start making music. I have literally zero clue what I'm doing. I've never picked up an instrument in my life. I don't know how to use DAWs. I don't know how to use anything. Like mixing, all that shit, I had no clue what I was doing. But COVID was a good time to learn it because the world kind of went on pause in a way, and so we had a lot of time to do those kind of things. So I could literally spend all my days just locking in and learning how to do things. So I started with making music just off of like a beat, just like finding beats on YouTube, and I made some stuff that I liked. But then I was like, I really want to learn how to make beats. I think making beats would be really cool. So basically, I just learned. I watched YouTube videos, this and the third, blah, 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 blah. And I eventually got to this point where I made this album called Reminders. And I wanted to make myself an album/project that kind of made me remember who I was at that time. And so I could like look back on it and be like, wow, that's pretty cool. Because I think I wanted music to be kind of some sort of like documentary kind of thing. Anyways, besides the point. So Reminders, I started, I made that album, I finished it, and in hindsight, it was not that good, but it was a start, and I think I'm really proud of myself for doing that. Like that was the catalyst for everything. I just kind of blindly went into this being like, I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna make something cool. And I took like 2 weeks. I literally made the whole album in 2 weeks. I will say I used a lot of loops, like melody wise. I was trying to learn how to make drums at the time, so I was like, I'm gonna let more talented people make melodies for me, and I'm gonna find them on YouTube and like Splice and all that shit, and I'm gonna put drums on these things just to practice. But I made some good beats. I made some beats that were not that good. I just made music, and I tried. And so during this time, I was very influenced by like Kanye West, and Tyler the Creator, and this and the third. And so I was like, really I really was really like inspired by those people, and that like they were so determined and willing to make their dreams come true at any cost. So I kind of felt the same way. So this is all okay. So the biggest takeaway of Reminders was that I have the drive to do this. That was like my big takeaway, is that I want to do this. This is something that I want to try to do, right? Not that I was good at it, but I wanted to try. Cool. We go to the next album, right? So the sun always shines. So the next album, this is 2021 about, and this is the next album called The Sun Always Shines Sometimes. This album was different in that I was allowing myself to make music over a period of time. Like, so it was like maybe 6 to 8 months of just me making music kind of like freely. It was nice. I made music for a while, and then I got to this point where I was like, so this song and this song and this song kind of work together, and then this song kind of works together, and then I kind of started grabbing these songs and putting them together, and I'm like, wait, these kind of work together. So I was like, I should make an album. In this time, I also was very, very, very much like on my Kanye/Tyler the Creator time of like, I want to not be in college and I want to pursue this full time. Kind of dumb in hindsight, but in the time, that's what I thought was the way. I thought that was like how I was going to make it work. It doesn't make sense, but I did. And so I was like fucking like trying to beg my mom to like let me not go to college and like support me doing this. And they were like, rightfully so, my mom and dad were like, shut the hell up. Just go to college and like chill out. Like, you don't have to do this. Anyways, I'm making this album. I get my friend named Eli / Keyline Beats, and I got a couple features on the album, and I was like, bro, I'm making a real ass album. That was the biggest takeaway of The Sun Always Shines Sometimes, was that I was making an album. Like, I was making like an album. Like, I was making music that was like good. And I think that was a big takeaway that it like taught me that I can do this shit like for real. Like, not on some shit where I'm like, oh my God, I can make an album just to like make it. I can make a good album. I can make something that's like actually good and that is like something I can stand behind. That album was like my baby. That was like really unfiltered, and there was no like thought or like there was nothing behind that. It was just like true expression, and I was extremely proud of that album. That was something I was like, wait. There's a song on there called Inconsistent. I remember when I was making that song, I was like, whoa, what the fuck? I made this. Like, I made this song. That's crazy. Anyways, I make this song, or I make the album, and so it was like over like 6 to 8 months I was kind of making this music, and then like in 2 weeks I was like, swag. I'm gonna like put it all together, make all the transitions, make it together nice. Me and Eli just locked in, made the song, made the album. Made it, released it. I did like a rollout. I did like all the things. Like, that was probably my most intensive rollout too. Like, that was one where I had like music videos for like 3 or 4 of the songs, and they had like narratives that went through the album, and I was like, whoa, I'm kind of going crazy. This is awesome. And in that, but you know, I put all this hard work, and the harsh reality that I learned was that nobody gave a fuck. Like, it just didn't do very well. Like, and so then I was like, do I really have to do it? I think I have to do it. And I was like, I think I got to start making TikToks. And during this time I tried making TikToks, and I was really locking in with TikTok, and nothing was really clicking. And I was like, fuck, this sucks. And I was like making TikToks for like a little while. And eventually I get to this point of 2022, and I make this new album. I make this song. It's called Damn I Fall in Love Too Quick, right? It's this hybrid of drill like beats, like drums, and like disco guitar. And I made this song, and I was like, oh, this is the one. This is the one that's gonna like change my life. And so I was very determined to get it out to people. So all I did was spam TikTok. I fucking made a million fucking TikToks trying to get motherfuckers to care about this shit, right? I tried. And for literally like 30 days, I remember after like a month, I made a TikTok every day, and nothing really worked. And I was like, fuck. Literally like the 31st day, I made another TikTok, and it blew. Like, it did like, I was like, basically the TikTok was like, all right, I made this song. It's a disco drill song, and I made it about this girl. If this song gets like 15K likes, or if this TikTok makes 15K likes, I will show it to her. And I played the song, and everyone was like, this shit's crazy. What the fuck? This shit is crazy. And it got like 20K likes. I never showed her the song. Maybe I was stupid for not doing that. I never showed it to her like on camera. I showed it to her in my personal life, but besides the point. Basically, I make those TikToks, and I'm just like basically promoting the fuck out of it, right? But it was working. I was like, oh fuck, I got people to like actually care about this music, right? I release it, literally like an instant 1,000 streams on Spotify. Fuck Spotify, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, instantly, that was like how I was like interpreting numbers. And so I was like, oh fuck, I'm actually about to go by blow. And that song, like in the matter of like 2 months, had like 15K streams. And I was like, oh my God, I'm him. I'm fucking him. And I was so hyped, right? I was so hyped. I was like, I did that shit. That was like the big thing of the last album. Like, I couldn't get anybody to care about my music, but now people are caring about my music on like a bigger scale. This is fucking nuts. I'm doing it. Oh my God. And then I'm like, oh shit, I gotta make an album now. And then I started freaking out because I was like, I have to make a fucking album. Oh my God, how am I gonna make an album? Because I like, with that last album, I was able to, like, I had like kind of music like stocked up, and I was like, I was gonna make an album, you know? This one, I wanted to make an album so bad, and I wanted to like kind of encapture this world, and I was like tweaking out because I was like, I have no idea how I'm gonna do it. So I got to the studio, I got to the lab, and I just like made everything. I made so many like disco drill beats that I literally fucking like hated the genre by the end of it, because I couldn't make anything else. I felt like I couldn't make anything different but disco drill, and it was fucking pissing me off. And I was like, oh my God, I was like in this like bubble. And basically, I keep making this music, right? Trying, and I made this other song. It's called "Darling, You Make Me Move," and that one also did super good on TikTok. And I was like, "Oh fuck yeah!" I'm like getting these hits. I figured it out. I figured out the formula, right? I'm going. I make an album, right? While I'm making this album, I end up like kind of losing momentum on TikTok. Like things are kind of like not working exactly how I wanted to. People are like, I got a lot of hate during that time too. Like a lot of fucking hate. A lot. It was like 50-50. Either you liked it or you didn't. And a lot of like, and I think for me, those like those the you didn't people were louder. Like I heard the people that were like, I don't fuck with this, like a lot louder. And I wish that I kind of empowered the people that were like, I fuck with you more. But you know, that was a learning experience. Basically, I was just like fucking scrounging to make this music, and I thought everyone hated me in my perception, so I hated myself so much, and it was like a kind of a bad time of my life. I like wanted to be happy and like upbeat, but I just like felt like shit. I was like, this sucks. I hate everything. And during that time, I was just like, okay, bet. I made this album, I released it. It did really well. Like it has like 100,000 streams total. Some people came up to me in my DMs and were like, this album is literally a perfect album to me. So I got like this gratification. Like I had people being like, this is like shit. I would like listen to it like at like I would like go to like a river nearby my house and I would listen to it and I would like get entranced in the story. And I would be like, you guys are cool as fuck. And it made me feel so good and so proud of myself. But also like I kind of destroyed myself in the process of making that album. I will say like it was not good. It was not good. But I think the biggest takeaway I learned from that era of music was I don't know shit. And I don't think I was as ready as I thought I was, you know, to make this music stuff. That was the biggest takeaway. So I'm kind of at this low point, right? And in this low point, I wanted to kind of, you know, make music, but I was like, I don't want to make this fucking shitty disco drill music anymore. I don't want to make this pop fucking shit. I don't care. I want to make whatever the fuck I want to make. I want to make some grungy shit. I want to make some shit that says fuck you. So it's 2023 and I make this album called Face the Music, right? And it's literally kind of just that. It's called Face the Music for a reason. It's about whether I want to do this shit or not. Like whether I want to continue this career path, whether I want to continue trying to get people to care about my music. And that was like a really hard album to make because it was like really, you know, I really had to like kind of come to terms with everything. Like whether this is something that I really want to spend my time with, spend my life with, you know. And it was like extremely left field compared to Party Pleaser, the last album. And I didn't want anybody to tell me what I could make. I think that was like the thing that I was like, I just was really pissed. And I think people were, I felt like so like in a box. And I was like, I fucking hate you. Basically, I want to make whatever the fuck I want. And that was like the album basically, you know. And so I was, I was genuinely pondering whether I really wanted to make this music stuff or not, you know. So eventually, I kind of, as time goes on, I'm kind of doing the rollout. I'm making these music videos, this, that, and the third, and people are like really being receptive towards the music and like being like, "Yo, you're fucking awesome." I remember I did this show. It's called Breakdowns at Broadway. Yeah, Breakdowns at Broadway, and literally, like, it was at this place called Perichigo, and I like packed that shit out. Like, there was like so many people there. And I basically played the entire album, and people were like, bro, this shit is lit. This shit is awesome. This shit is fire. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I think I'm, like, getting it now. Like, I think I'm getting people to, like my shit for real, right? In, like, a more, like, genuine way. And I go through it. I make the album rollout, and I do this. And I think the biggest, I'm going back to this, like, 2021 era. But during this time, that was kind of, like, the biggest time of, like, I also like dropped it. I finished my 2 years in school. Like I got my associate's degree and I took a year off, right? But my parents really didn't want me to take a year off. They wanted me to go back to school. So during the Face the Music era, I was also like in like a era of like I didn't go to school. I was just I lived in my own house. I lived in my own apartment and I made music and I worked. And that was like the only things that I like really focused on. And I was in like a relationship at the time, and then this and the third. But I was like, I'm doing it. I'm doing the shit that I wanted to do in 2021. I'm making music. I'm living independently. Like, this is awesome. And I learned that it was not that awesome. It kind of sucked, and it was like really hard and difficult to balance my life. And so I was like, yo, oh my God, what the hell is happening? Like, it was chaotic, it was crazy, and I feel like I had no time, but I had time for the music. I was like so many late nights, like staying up, trying to make this music crazy as fuck. And in this time too, I was like learning guitar, and I was like doing all this fucking shit, right? And basically I come to this conclusion, and the biggest takeaway I learned from 2023 Face the Music is that that I want to make music. That was the biggest takeaway. Is that like by the end of the album, I was like, I want to make this shit. I want to keep doing this. As weird as it was, I wanted to keep doing it, and that was cool. That was a cool thing to learn, because I think that like, that's how you really know you love something, is if you go through something so intense and so visceral and so like an experience that like was really hard for me to go through. Okay. So now I'm like, what's next? I make this song. It's called How Could You Be By Yourself, right? This is post Face the Music. And it was really, really like direct in its like, and it really felt like it felt like it would be in like a horror movie, right? It felt like it would be like in like it kind of had like the subject matter of it was kind of like this, like, it had this like, how could you be by yourself? How could you be by yourself when you don't know who's behind you? Be by yourself. So basically, that's kind of the gist of it, being like, if you don't know your surroundings, why would you be by yourself? And it was like, it kind of felt like it'd be perfect for like a slasher movie. So I talked to my friends, and I was like, we should make this like really cool music video where we make this like kind of character, and we do this thing where like we have like this like little story at the beginning, and like we we make like this thing where it's like this like character is like crazy and he kills people and shit, right? I tell it to my friends. Next thing we know, we're basically making a short film, and that was a crazy time. That was probably the hardest time I've ever experienced within music and art. Because we were making a movie, and I had to make music. I made like the soundtrack for the movie. So that's like what 2024 was. I made like a soundtrack for this movie that we made. And I think that I'm going to like more talk about the experience of like making the movie, because that was the hard part. That shit fucking sucked, dude. That was the worst. That I thought that like anything prior to was hard. I at least had like somewhat control in the last shit. This one, it was out of my control. Like nothing was in my control. That was the fucking worst. That like, it was really hard. It was really hard. And, it was uncharted territory in like the strongest sense of the word. Like I had no idea what we were doing. And like we all didn't really know what we were doing. The gal that was directing it, Tyler Frame, she also had no idea what we were doing. But we all were ambitious. We had a dream. We had a vision. Rachel, my girlfriend, she was like on board. There was another gal that we were working with at the time. Everyone was on board. We were like, we're going to make this shit work. Well, I guess some people weren't on board, but besides the point. We were fucking, we were like, we're going to figure this shit out. Like, we were basically like we had blind faith that we were going to figure it out. And maybe that was stupid, but we kind of figured it out. We had a cast. We had this and the third. We did everything. We did this shit for real. And we're still, to give you a little spoiler, I'm still editing this shit to this day. It's not even fucking out fully, but, it's whatever. We made this whole short film, right? And the biggest thing that I think I learned at this time was that you have to kind of come in with a plan. Like you have to kind of come in with like a scope of what you're gonna do and how you're gonna do it, and like it's really important to kind of have that scope and have that vision for what's ahead of you. I think that really helps with this kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. Like, but truthfully, like, as difficult as that experience was, because also, mind you, I'm back in college. I moved back into my parents' crib, and I am like, I'm a computer science major, so I'm doing like STEM shit. So it's hard. It's difficult things. I was taking Calc 1. I had 5 classes, so a full college load on top of making a movie, and I had to dress up in like a fucking like kiss ass outfit, and it was just it was a really hard time in my life. It wasn't like it was a bad time. It was very difficult though. You know, my mental health kind of was not going very well. I wasn't really taking care of myself very well. You know, I tried to maintaining a relationship and like, you know, this and the third. And we got through it, but it was, it was hard, right? Yeah. So I think so it's 2024. We make this fucking movie. We do a fucking premiere. We like, we got like people to come to this, this movie that we made in, uh, you know, like 9 months. We made a whole movie in 9 months. And, it was crazy. It was really crazy, and a lot of people came, and it was an awesome experience. It was something we showed the movie, and people were like receptive towards it. It was kind of like an earlier draft of the movie. We weren't like fully happy with it, so we're gonna like. That's why I'm saying we're still editing it because I wanted a more polished version when it comes out fully. So yeah, I'm making this movie. So we made this movie. We dropped it, and I literally, because we released something that it wasn't like fully finished. I literally got into like a depression, to be honest with you, because that was the first time within this story that I was not proud of what we put out. We put out something that we weren't proud of, and we were criticized for it too. There were some people that were like being like, I don't know, dude, I don't know, like you charged people for something that wasn't like was obviously not finished, this and the third, and we're like, oh fuck, it was really eating me up because I was extremely disappointed with myself because I was like, and I wasn't like blaming anybody else. It was all like I was like putting it all on myself, like that we were like not enough, and we like had people come out to something that like was not finished and people didn't like it, and I was like, oh fuck, I was really like beating up myself about it, and I really was like, I really hated myself, you know, and I was like in kind of in a lull, and I like lost all my self confidence and this and the third. And then I think I just was like, I'm gonna get out of this, so I have to just continue creating. So that's what I did. I continued creating, and also throughout this whole time, I was kind of just making like various amounts of music. And because Camp Minnesota came out during that time, I felt like the need to like not release anything. I wanted to put my full focus into Camp Minnesota, right? Which was stupid. I wish I was releasing shit during that time. But so I had a bunch of stockpiled music, right? And so now I was at this point of like, okay, I have a bunch of music. I should try to make another album. So I started making more and like doing this and the third. And now we're at today, 2025, where I'm gearing up to make my newest album. It's called Shadi the Beam. It's a self-titled album. And it's weird. I think I've learned. I'm at like it feels like I'm at like a more of a veteran status. I'm more of like I'm a war torn artist at this point. Or you know I've experienced all the things. You know I've went through the crazy parts of musicianship or being an artist, independent artist, and I'm at this point of like. I think I'm at this like you know it's like the Dunning-Kruger effect where it's like you know like you go through this and you go to, like the valley of despair, and I'm at this point where I'm kind of like getting to this point where I'm like at like a steady confident where I know that I'm good. I know that I'm a good artist, but I think that it's more about like getting yourself out there in a marketing sense and like doing it in a way that like doesn't feel so like that's all your personality. I think also being older helped a lot too. Like my brain is developing, and I'm 23 at this point. So like I'm at this point where I'm like a lot more level-headed. It feels like 2021, 2022, bro. I actually was like a kid. I was a kid, and these motherfuckers that are like 19, 20 that are making music and they're like really famous. Like I feel bad for them. Like I feel like they can't fully grasp and process like how to be a person at that time. Like I'm at this point where I'm like just genuinely more confident in who I am, and like I feel less shame about like myself as a person. And so I cannot imagine how easily someone can be swayed when you're 19, 20. Like, fuck, dude. Like, I don't think that, like, I think that, like, that sucks. I'm happy that things are working out as they are because I've been able to slowly get to that point. You know what I'm saying? And like now I feel like I know that I can make good shit. I know I can make. I made an album for one album every year for 5 years. I know I can make a good album. I know it. I know I can make good songs. You know, so now it's like it's at this place of like. Now I got to figure out how to get it out to people in a more consistent and long-term manner. That's the goal. You know, that's where I'm at. And making this album, I think the biggest learning was that, like, yeah, I think it was more about like. The biggest takeaway was how do I get all of these other albums, every lesson that I've learned from every other album, and put it into this one? How do I like not fuck up everything else? Like how do I like make this process easy for myself? And I don't know if I fully figured it out, to be honest with you. I think I'm like still trying to figure it out. I'm in the middle of the rollout right now. Like I've just released a second single, and the next is the album. And so I think this is kind of an interesting time to talk about it because I'm like nervous as fuck. You know, I want to make merch for it. So I'm going to make like CDs. I'm going to make shirts. I would like to make like sweatshirts or something. And, you know, I would like to just, you know, like stickers, and I want like things, physical media that people can hold on to and be like, this is real. And this is something that I have in my hands and this is awesome, you know? And I think that is like been the biggest thing that I've learned throughout this process was, like, how do I, like, just, I want to make people like my stuff, and how do I make people like my stuff in a genuine way? How do I make it in a way where I'm not, like, shoving it in their face? How can I do it in my own way that, you know, it's maybe not in my control, but I want to make it in a genuine way that feels like good to me, you know? And so I think that's where I'm at. I think to any of you that are watching this that are trying to make music and that want to make music, what I say to you is I think you should just do it. Every album I went into it blind. Like I had no idea what I was doing. I'm not going to sit here and act like I had a full vision. I was figuring it out and on the fly, and I think that's like what it really takes to be an artist is to be able to freestyle your life and like to be able to figure out the pivots and when to do the right thing. Don't be like overly influenced by anybody. Like your life is your life. Like do not let anybody tell you that you have to drop out of college to make this shit work. Live your life. Be smart. There's no beauty in a starving artist. There's literally zero beauty. Have stability in your life. That is how you make the best art. Find yourself through your art. Be happy, be consistent, love your life. Don't think that you have to be depressed and angry to make good music. I've made good music. I can tell you I've made good music in both the good and bad times. So never let anybody tell you that shit is what you need to make good music. That is bullshit. Be strong, be consistent, be healthy, be happy, make good stuff. Make things that make you happy. That's what we do this shit for. We don't do this shit for to just be fake depressed or fake sad or fake happy. Be really happy or really sad. Like, be yourself, feel your expression, feel your emotions, do this shit for the art, for the love of the game, for real. That is all I can ask you to do as an artist. Like, that is what I learned in this process, in this 5 years that I've been making a fucking album every goddamn year, is that you have to just be yourself, bro. You have to learn to love and be yourself and be healthy and play the game a little bit and stuff like that. This is a side note, but also I think I'm learning that I'm not the one yet. You have to be able to play the game and play it from the perspective of a student. Like, you're not the guy that's gonna change the world, and you haven't had the song that's gonna change the world yet. So play the game a little bit. Be consistent. Be smart. Promote on TikTok. Promote on social media. Like, be consistent and do the things that like the people that you respect and love do. Because yeah, I think that's the only way to do it, you know? But when I say that, sorry, because I'm saying this and I'm second guessing myself, but because that's what I follow. I follow that advice of like, you have to do the things that that like do the things that the people you respect do, right? I actually think that's wrong. That I feel like in this process, I also learned that if you do what the like, I was trying to do what Tyler the Creator did. He made his own music videos. He fucking dropped out of college to make his music dreams come true. But his situation is completely different than mine. You know what I'm saying? So I was trying to do what he was doing, and it didn't work. Like, obviously, it didn't fucking work because it's not my life. So it's like you got to look at your life for what it is and do what's realistic for you and make it work. You know what I'm saying? Try to make a living off this shit in a realistic way. Don't try to do it in a way of like you're gonna blow up and get 3 trillion fucking streams and people are gonna care about you like that. Like, it's unrealistic. It's just unrealistic. Like, but you can do things in a more realistic way. Like, get people to like that really love your stuff. Make a Patreon, make a Bandcamp, and have people like funnel people to your platform like that, so they can love and respect you, and make your ethos and make your business about the art for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what you want it to be, that's what I want it to be. I want my art to be about the art, and so people are willing to pay you if you're going to make your art, your business about the art. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I hope this was helpful for somebody. I thought it was really fun to tell my story as well. So I really hope that you took something away from this. But yeah, I really appreciate you. I respect you. Thank you so much for listening. If you listened, and yeah, this was the process of making 5 albums every year for 5 years. And that's what I learned. This is what I learned. Yeah.